The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for the Diagnostic Trading Hour with your host, Darrell Martin. Now, Darrell Martin.
All right, folks, welcome on here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. I hope you are having a great day and had a great weekend. We had a great time out there in San Francisco. We went out to San Mateo, right outside of San Fran. Had a great Nadex conference and was able to teach a lot of people about Nadex. I've never even heard about Nadex before. We were able to lay out what the spreads are. And a little bit about the binaries, but a whole lot about the spreads and how the spreads work, the benefits of the spreads, and how you can cut down on your risk. You can maximize your leverage, and, of course, how you can never get stopped out again. And, of course, as you can imagine, quite a few people were very excited to head on back and start learning more about how Nadex works so they can take advantage of the Nadex markets. Let's go ahead and check out right now what we got going across the markets all across the board. We got the S&P. After the massive drop last night. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But we got the S&P right now. It is down almost 4 points. We got the Nasdaq filled the gap up a quarter. Actually, now filled the right now at the settlement price of Friday. We have the Russell still down about 3 points. We have the Dow down a few points. Gold is up right now, 12.8. We got silver is down 0.019. We got copper is down 0.0905. So a pretty massive move right there in copper. We got oil is after that big move down back on up 2-3 cents right now from yesterday's close. Also looking on over at corn. Corn right now is down about a tick. 0.25 from yesterday. We got soybeans down 17.5. And looking on over at euro dollars, down 107 pips, which sounds bad, but that actually isn't too bad compared to where it has been in the last 24 hours. Pound dollar down 3, Aussie dollar down 5, euro yen is down quite a bit, down 1.13. We got pound yen down 22, and we have the U.S. yen down 14 pips. So the U.S. Canadian up 27, and the dollar franc up 44. Dollar showing obviously strength across the board against pretty much everything out there, and like I said, in the light of what has been happening. So what's been happening? Well, some brilliant politicians over in Europe, as you probably know. If you don't, I'm going to catch you up. But they decided it would be a good idea because Cyprus, of all places, which is like the offshore money laundering place of the world, where you have a lot of these binary bucket shops, things like that, come out of there. I mean, it's all sorts of things that you want to avoid. Anyway, so they're the next, country in the, line of the pigs. Just add Cyprus to the end of it, and having major issues. And the banks are about to go bankrupt. And so they scheduled an emergency bailout. But part of that emergency deal was to take anywhere between, I want to say it was like 6.5%, 6.75%, up to 10% of everybody's money. And anybody who had any money in the bank, in their checking accounts, they were going to go ahead and just tax that. If they have less than $100,000, then 6.75. If they have more than $100,000, 10%. And somehow or another, that was fair because otherwise the banks would go bankrupt, as if it was the person's fault who was saving their money in the bank. So we'll just take it from them. And it's easy because we can take it. We don't have to tax it. We don't have to wait on it to come in. We'll just take it. Basically, it's outright theft and robbery out of people's bank accounts. And, just direct. And they did it over a holiday weekend. And pretty much every ATM ran dry by the middle of the afternoon yesterday, as you can imagine. Banks are closed. Well, they realized, oh, wow, maybe this wasn't a good idea. Everybody's upset that we're taking all their money. And the biggest fear now is, well, wait a minute. If this can happen in Cyprus, then can it happen in Spain? Can it happen in Italy? Where else can it happen? And they're like, well, this is a one-time event. This isn't going to happen anywhere else. Well, literally just a few days ago, the Cyprus government promised that this would not in any way affect depositors. And but now they're taking their money. So, of course, nobody's really trusting anything that's being said. And they realized that this actually could become a contagion in itself. Even though the bailout, in terms of how much they've had to spend on these other countries, is small, the fact that they're willing to go to this extreme shows there are no rules. that they can do whatever they want, and you just got to deal with it. And, well, obviously the market sold off, dropped over 1% pretty much instantly. You had the euro, down almost 200 pips, just crashing down. And we may need to do something different. And so now they delayed the vote. And they're going to vote tomorrow. And they're like, you can vote however you want to, but if you don't do this, we're not bailing you out. And they're like, wow, we really need to have time to figure this out. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we don't have a run on the banks. Well, there's a solution to that. Leave the banks closed. No banks are open until Thursday. That gives us a couple more days to figure this out. So, man, I mean, I can't even imagine. I don't want to have to imagine. And I feel for the people there. And yeah, there's a lot of money in there that's money laundering and everything else. But there's a lot of people who are just retired citizens, regular citizens, just saving their money, and now being punished for it. And they're like, well, we're making the people who have more pay more. What? How does that have anything to do with anything? So, people who, percentage is percentage is percentage. And, that's just taxing the rich. Well, that'll solve the problem. And, yeah, that'll solve a problem for you. It'll mean you think your banks aren't going to have a run even if you do this? Do you think everybody who has money in there as any kind of safe haven is not going to take it out? They're going to have massive withdrawals. I don't care what they do. The fact that they're willing to consider it, they've already destroyed their reputation, their ability to handle this correctly. Let's just say if they decide not to do it, would you leave your money there? If you were in another country and you had money in an account there, would you leave it? No, of course not. They're going to have massive withdrawals. Citizens may decide they just, it's horrible and they have to deal with it and they're being promised it won't happen again and they don't have a choice because that's where their bank is. But anybody who's not a citizen, any major corporation, come on, just pull your money, get it out. And that's what's going to happen. And they got to figure out, really, this isn't about saving Cyprus anymore. This is about figuring out how to save the EU from every other citizen in every other country that has any possible issue thinking that they're next. And, basically, don't go into a weekend where your money could be stolen from you. So withdraw your cash on Friday and wait till the bank opens again. If you have to have a bank account, leave $10 in there or whatever, because, checks aren't going to clear on the weekend anyway. And hop back in when the day it opens and put the money back in. But don't leave it in over the weekends because they'll just shut it down on you. That's the lesson they're teaching. They're teaching don't leave your money in the banks. And if possible, don't have it in there at all. Go get a prepaid debit card or, work in cash or money orders or whatever you have to do. But don't leave your money in the bank. Don't save. Don't put money in banks. Deleverage the banks completely by taking everything out. And just, absolutely, insane methods that they're using. And it'll be interesting to see if they're able to pull this one off and trick everybody into thinking it was just such a good idea and that everyone else is safe. This won't happen to them. Well, obviously, not everybody else's money's been safe because the entire markets as a whole has been just completely rocked on this entire, concept of take from people over the weekend when they can't do anything about it. And as you saw, I don't know if you were looking at some charts, but if you did, you saw, it's sort of funny. If you're just looking right now at the markets, you're like, oh, they seem relatively calm. S&P's down a few, Nasdaq's up a couple. And, obviously not the case at all. And so let's go ahead and pull up a couple charts and look at that. And you'll be rather amazed just by the movements that have been going on. Let's check out the deviations, how they've tied in. And I'll pull it up for you right now. Let's see here that I post up on there in just a second for you. We can see right here, this is the S&P market gapped down and just huge. So, you had about 14.5 point gap from the open. It had a bigger gap, actually. It was about 20 points from the close to the open on Sunday when the first market first started trading, and then moved on down. Was down about 30 points on the day. And they realized that the politicians at least admitted to it being a mistake, and they might try to do something about it. So the markets decided, okay, well, we'll give you a day, and rallied on back up, and just wait, it's coming, and it's only getting worse, and the social unrest is building, and that's one of the factors that you don't hear a whole lot about. But the social unrest happening right now in these countries that they're solving the financial problems with all of this, money ideas that they have, where they're going in and they're, cutting down cost in all the wrong areas. Unemployment skyrocketing. People are hungry. And basically it's coming down now to base survival of food and shelter. And when that happens, especially when you get a bunch of young people that happens to, they're going to figure out a way to survive whatever they have to do. And that social unrest is getting larger and larger. I just saw a report come out by the S&P, by Standard & Poor's, saying that they think that one of the biggest problem that's about to happen in Europe is that they're going to have an insane amount of social unrest, causing riots, gangs, everything else. And gangs not because it's like, gangs, but gangs in the sense of just youth trying to survive, so they're going to do whatever it takes to do so. They're going to figure out how to protect their families, protect their neighborhoods, protect their friends, and they're going to join together and do what they have to. And so, it's going to be some interesting times in the market. And one thing I cannot stress enough is that you need to have some safety. I mean, if you were in the S&P long, right now, you ought to be breathing a sigh of relief that it came back up. But, you easily could have been wiped out. 20, 30 points down, 20 points down on the open. If you were long the euro and it dropped 200 pips, just instantly, you're wiped. I don't care what your stop-loss management system was. Your stop was hit, flew past it, and it hurt if you were in, and if you had a stop in. If you didn't have a stop in, you're just, right now you're just dancing for joy and thankful, and you're dying to get out any second now. So, that's sort of where people are sitting at. And I said I cannot stress the importance of having a good risk management plan. And that's where all this comes into place, where you want to go in and trade something like Nadex. Because with Nadex, you can't have slippage. The market can't move past your stops. Okay? So you can go in and you can trade it, and you put your stops in, and your trades are closed out really every Friday. So you're not going to have over weekend risk. And really you don't have overnight risk because your risk is 100% capped every time. And so one thing I definitely recommend that you do is you go over here and you click on tfnn.com, click on Nadex, and sign up for a demo account. Let's say you trade ETFs, futures, forex, whatever. Markets, just place the same trades in Nadex in a demo account and see what happens. Okay? See how much less money you have to use, how much less risk you have, and when you do get stopped out on your other trades, notice how you don't over on Nadex. Go there and click on our products, click on the demo account, go ahead right now and fill in this form. It takes about 15 seconds, literally 15 seconds. And that's if you're a slow typer. Username, first name, last name, phone number, and email address. Click apply for demo. They'll send you an email, and you'll be able to log in right away and, start placing trades. And you may be, I don't know how it works. Well, one, you also may want to go ahead and get a live account. You just click on create account. It's only $100 to fund a live account. And so you fill that in, takes 5 minutes, start to fund it. Well, if you want to know how to trade Nadex, stay tuned. I'll show you where to get access to that information as well. We'll be right back after this break.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Darrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Backtech Environmental. For more information, just click the Backtech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. I'm your host, Darrell Martin. We're checking out Nadex, and I was saying go ahead and hop on over to Nadex. There's a Nadex banner right there at TFNN.com, and you can get access to the Nadex platform. Also, go over to Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer. Click on the logo right there. Sign up, get your 2-week trial. You're not just going to get a trial to the Box Spread Analyzer, because right now you're probably saying, well, what is a Box Spread Analyzer? If you haven't heard the show before, you're a little bit curious about what this thing is. It's much more than that. It's education. It's education on how the spreads work. It's education on how the binaries work. It's education on how Nadex works. It's education on how to use their platform. It's the daily deviation levels. So it's a lot that you're able to get access to for free and try out and see how it all works, but also able to learn and ask questions. And it's definitely worth your time. Hop in there, use it, let me know how I can help you, okay? And I recommend you just to hop on there and take advantage of that again today. And we'll get you going. So let's go ahead and look at a few of the other markets right here. And we got the S&P, we got NASDAQ, checking out NASDAQ right now. And let's see, pulling that one on up. Oh, let me re-update that chart. And there we go. So we got the Russell 2000. I'll just top over that. I'll come back to the NASDAQ here in a minute. But on Russell, you can see it gapped on down right on the open and just flew down and hitting every stop along the way. Market pulled on back. Basically, do a 1 deviation. Didn't quite hit 1.5. Came on up, sort of bounced between 0.7 and 1 for you a little bit. and then really spent just, an insane amount of time right here at this half deviation. I was thinking the thing was just going to pull back because, it just did not want to go anywhere. And finally decided to do one last little pop up and try to fill in, this gap here. Russell has yet to be able to fill in the gap. So we'll see how that turns out. And going on over, we're going to check out, we'll pull up the Dow, see if that one pulls on up for us correctly. And maybe I just need to reload some data here. That might help. Let's try it one more time. All right. Well, let's go right in here. And now we'll check out oil, because I know I had that one up. Okay. 1 second here. And so try to pull up a few different charts for you so that way you can sort of see what it is that we're talking about when we're looking at each piece of this, because it's really important that you understand the deviations. It's important you understand how they work and how to put them all together. And so one of the things I like to show people is, really that they work. And like I said, we auto plot them in there, and I find it really helpful to be able to have them up. So let me click on here, and I'll reopen this, and then what we'll do is we'll be all set and ready to go. So right on this piece here, sorry, give me 1 second. I want to upload this so that way you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to leave you hanging. And it'll be right up. In the meantime, let's go ahead and talk about some of the news announcements that are about to roll around while I'm getting that rebooted for you. And we'll be able to get you hooked up and ready to go for tonight, because we do have some news announcements coming out tonight that you can straddle. So which ones are they? Well, right now we have one main one that we're going to be focusing on. We'll be focusing on the Aussie dollar. They're going to have some, speeches come out and everything else. They're going to be coming out a little bit early. They come out at 6:15. Now, you could hop in that early. You could trade that early. If you did, you'd probably want to be picking out like the 11 o'clock spread. It's going to be medium impact. It's really going to be a couple of the different RBA governors speaking. So depending upon what they do or say, they can sort of throw things off. But the real announcement tonight for the Aussie is going to be the monetary policy meeting minutes. It comes out at 8:30 tonight. Okay, so that's our major announcement that we're actually going to be focusing on. And so you'll want to make sure that you go ahead and look at that, and that's where we're going to go on, and we're going to use the Nadex spread analyzer to pull up the Aussie dollar, and you're going to want to load that up on your chart so that way you can see where the Aussie dollar is currently trading. And I can show you examples of both. So let me pull up a chart here, got this going for you. And I'll load a template up, and we'll be all set. And there we go. Okay. So with that, and I think it should have posted over there. I'm waiting for it to post in the room. And once that posts in the room for you, then you'll be able to see the Aussie dollar. So you'll be able to trade that tonight. There we go. And you can see how the Aussie dollar, everything moved. It dropped on down, basically a full deviation right there. Pulled on back and just really oscillated right on that deviation, right in between 0.7 and 1 again. Popped up between 0.7 and half. Stuck around the half like almost everything else. Still trying to fill the settlement in from, Friday. And has not yet reached it, but is really just within a few ticks of being able to do so. So how do you trade a straddle on the Aussie dollar tonight? When we come back from this segment, I'm going to talk about that and go into the spread analyzer and show you how to put the pieces together. We'll be back right after this break.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Just recently, on December 28th, Market Insight subscribers were advised to go long the QQQ, the Nasdaq 100 ETF, on December 28th at $63.91, and only 2 trading days later, after a huge jump in the market, Market Insight subscribers were advised to sell the QQQ at $66.64 for a $2.73 or 4.27% profit to start off 2013. At the same time, Tom O'Brien had advised his clients looking for a more leveraged trade that they could have initiated a position in the QLD, the ProShares Ultra QQQ ETF, and over the same 2 trading days, Market Insight subscribers were able to lock in a $4.48 profit or an 8.47% gain in just 1 trade. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during your free trial and pay nothing. Don't miss out on the next great trading opportunity in 2013. Act today. TFNN legend Bud Rolfs has come out of retirement to bring you a special report and a one-time only webinar that will show you what's going to happen in the markets over the next 4 years. Bud Rolfs is the former chief technical analyst of the Tiger Trading Post at TFNN and is a true market innovator who has taught thousands of students how to read charts and be more successful traders. Don't miss this chance to learn from a TFNN legend and get this timely market advice that will put you on the right side of the market for the next major move. Plus, he'll show you his expert analysis on the current major markets and explain the technical setup that is predicting a move of over 50%. We're offering this one-of-a-kind special package for only $179, and the moment that you sign up, you'll gain access to Bud's 11-page executive summary where he provides you with the keys to his market call and prepares you for his live 90-minute webinar on March 21st. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind offer. Sign up today on the front page of TFNN.com. Darrell Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Darrell Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And we're just looking at the markets right now. We're talking about the Aussie dollar and using the spread scanner. So once you log in on there and you're looking at the spread scanner, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your market. Well, tonight, what would you be doing? Well, you'd be looking at the Aussie dollar. Pretty simple, right? Why? Well, they have their monetary policy meeting minutes, sort of like the Fed meeting minutes coming out. You could choose the 9, the 10, or the 11 o'clock expiration. And to help you find that, you're going to use the spread scanner. Which one's going to be the best trade? Because maybe there's only a couple dollars difference. And you are going to be looking usually at spreads, especially in the evening when doing news trades, because the dailies are going to be binaries. You're going to have evening binaries that you can really trade over at Nadex. You can trade them in the evening, but they have daily expiration, so they're going to be further apart and not as good. So let's go ahead and look at this. Now, these are all the spreads that are currently trading on Nadex. That's a lot of spreads to have to choose from. And so if you're trying to figure that out, you're going to be over here like, what should I do? How do I do this? How do I put it all together? And so you can go over here and you can go, risk-reward ratio. Well, I want to be able to make at least $1 for every dollar I'm risking. Well, that drops a lot of them off. And I don't want to lose more than, say, $100. Well, that drops a lot more off. And it gets it smaller and smaller for you. And you could even go in here and say, you know what, I want there to be at least, now you could use this for a minimum or a maximum, but I could say, I want there to be at least 60 minutes till expiration. That'll drop off even more trades. And now looking at what I have, I could go in and choose this one here, and this one here, and it actually would build a risk-reward graph right there. Look at that. So I can make, $89 on the way up here. I could, make quite a bit on the way up on this side. I could also make $89, down. So this one could make me $89 if the market drops. This one could make me $89 if the market rose. And I'm risking about, with fees included, it comes out to about $16. So that's all fees, all inclusive. Okay? So that's not too bad. And so understanding that, and the nice thing is having that risk-reward graph helps you make sure you're lining them up, because what you don't want to do is have them crossing over each other or have this like gap range area. Even though that's a lower risk trade, it doesn't make it necessarily a better trade because it's out of the money. So the market has to move a whole lot further to get there. And then right here, this one, if you look at that, you're not going to make anything on the way up because it's going to be losing money all the way down. And you don't want that trade either. So you really want one that lines up. Well, both these expire at the exact same time as all the others, and so that makes it a great trade for you. It has a low risk. Both of them have a great, reward to risk ratio. You're talking basically potential to make up to $10 on each side for every dollar at risk. So that's 1,000% return possibility on the trade. And obviously you're gonna lose on the other side. So if you're gonna lose, say, the $8 on this side, now you may win on both sides or profit on both sides. I've seen that happen before, where the market's flown up, I've taken profit, and then it's flown back down. I've taken profit on the shorter one, too. But I put them both on about 15 minutes before expiration. And my goal here, and now you can go in, and yes, you can go for 2 and 3 and 4. You can go for home runs. You can go for grand slams. All that stuff is wonderful and great. But what I'd prefer to do is base hits. When I'm doing news trades, I'm going for base hits. So I'm going for equal risk reward, and I want it to be within a deviation, okay? So if I'm going on here and I'm going to go, my risk on this trade is, 16, 17, let's see if it's 8 and 8, so about $16. I want to make $16, which means I need to get out of it $16 higher, plus assume the risk on this side is a total loss. So basically $24 higher. So $16 plus the $8 I'm going to lose on this side. So I'm going to put my order, and if I buy, right here, 1.0406, then I'm going to look to sell $28 higher as soon as I get in. Or if I sell down here at 1.0393, I'm going to look to buy back $24 lower. So I make my $16 I initially had at risk, plus I make back the $8 that I lost on the other side. Doesn't sound like a whole lot. Do 10 of them. Do 20 of them. Do 100 of them. Do 500 of them. I don't care. You could make it a lot. But what you're going for is high probability. And so many traders, they want to get that maximum, 400% return trade. And, I'm always like reading different trading books, and one of the books, I read about talked about, always, assuming that you're going to lose. And I've read that now in so many different books, and something that I've talked about as well is, assuming the loss. One, that keeps your risk management in control. If you always assume you're going to win, you're going to risk too much, you're going to trade too often. But if you assume you're going to lose, then you're a little more cautious and you don't risk too much. And then when you lose, it's like, well, that's what I thought was going to happen. If you break even, you're like, hey, that's better than I thought. If you make something, though, that's a bonus, And why? Well, because if you assume you're going to win, well, when you lose, you're upset. When you break even, you're upset. When you win, you're upset because you could have won more. It's just a no-win psychology in trading. Now, it doesn't mean I put on trades that I think this one's going to lose. I'm definitely going to take it. It's when I put it on, I have the mindset, okay, of this looks like the best possible trade I can do, but I need to trade it like it's going to lose. Okay, in the sense of that's how I determine my risk management, my size, my position, where my stops are going to be, and what's the maximum loss I'm willing to take on this trade that has a high possibility of losing. Because at the end of the day, all my probabilities can line up, but the trade, no matter what you think, something else can always happen. And so you got to have that correct mindset. As weird as it sounds, the power of positive thinking does not work in trading. Okay. So you cannot will the market to go in your direction, all right? The power of positive thinking is, I think I'm going to trade well today because I'm going to have proper risk management and proper money management, and I know where I'm going to get out of my trade before I get in it. I know where I'm going to get out of it when it goes down, and I know where I'm going to get it if it goes up in my favor. So that is the power of positive thinking, and you're going to control that. You are not going to control the market, so don't think you're going to will it in, into reality. So the only thing you need to will into reality is control of your own money. So using this right here is great because it does control your risk management side as long as you don't risk too many contracts. And now you just need to have your profit management in place. And that's, like I said, I want at least a 1-to-1. You may want to go for more, but at least I want 1-to-1. And I want it within, say a deviation. So I'm going to be looking at the deviations, because if there's so much premium built in that it has to move way too far for me to make anything, well, that's going to be a bit of an issue for me, and I'm going to, have a little, caution on that trade. And so, right here, like we were looking over at the Aussie dollar, and seeing right here, where it's moved today. And we can go through and we can look at a variety of markets. But, one of them that we can definitely check out is, we'll go and let's check out the euro, because obviously that was sort of the big topic. And on the euro right here, it fell down. It hasn't quite had the rally that everything else has had today. It fell down further than everything else. That's part of it. But it fell down further than everything else. Fell down a full, 2 deviations on the day. And then rallied back a full deviation. Rallied right back up to 1. But look at that. To the tick. Just look. Right here. You're right up. Just right there. Just broke it by a tick. Coming on back down. Just not ready to just, admit that it's everything's going to be okay. And how is it going? That's a big fall. That's one of the biggest gaps I've seen in a long time on the euro. And anybody who had a position on long, if they had a stop of any reasonable distance, it was a painful experience. And on the euro, if you got out at 1 deviation, you were lucky. If you were long. Now, if you're short, you're dancing for joy, and I hope you took your profits. So, because that was a nice trade. And, not that you can't look for another setup, but that was a really nice trade. And, how would you know where to take your profits? Well, remember, one of the things we talked about is anytime a deviation level is broken, you look at the bar that closes below on the 10-minute charts. Okay? Look at the bar right here that closes below the deviation. Well, that bar closed below the deviation, so it hits it, boom, pops back up, we're out. Yeah, was there a little bit more to be made? Yeah, there was about 20 or 30 more pips left. Who cares? You made quite a bit. You're not going for maximum profit. You're going for trading well. You're out. The thing just oscillates, flies back up, gives back a ton of money. You would have been glad you got out there if you were waiting till what? You got 2 deviations. You were just very fortunate, to say the least. And now if we go on over here, we can look at a couple of the other ones. We'll check out the pound dollar. And what we can see, and let me see here. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. On the pound dollar, what we can see over here is, not a lot. So, it really just hasn't moved a whole lot yet. There's not just... I'm sort of interested to see what the final impact is going to be. They're stepping in. They're doing quite a bit. And they're saying, hey, we're going to take care of our troops. We're going to do a lot of these cool things. And it did not get slammed near as bad. Really, it's just been going flat and sideways. And you look at the chart, it almost makes you think something's, wrong. Because it's just too calm of a chart. And so, you go over and you're like, well, I'm going to look at my other platform. I'm going to see what's going on. And, but it's amazing when you see some of these things. It's like, well, is that accurate? Is that real? Is that right? Because you see such massive moves on other markets that, it's just, how can any market actually sustain that? And, I literally did. I went and I pulled up other charts on other platforms just to make sure that my data was right. And the pound actually sustained that massive drop really well and just went flat. So it's just interesting to see when that happens. Talking about some volatility in the euro pound, so that definitely throw that in. We'll go over at a couple other major pairs here. We got the U.S. yen. It dropped down, but it was able to pull it all back together. It didn't quite drop 1.5 deviations. Almost got down there before it pulled on back, and now it's trying to actually get a little strength. And we'll look at a couple other ones. We'll look at some crosses. We got pound yen, and pound yen did drop down, but it gained it back. Now euro yen, on the other hand, let's go ahead and pull that one on up. And on the euro yen, we can see it drop down. It has not been able to gain back the loss. The euro is still showing that major weakness there in comparison to where it was last Friday. Hop on over with the USD CAD and the dollar, showing quite a bit of strength there. And let's see what else. One of the things as far as the reports that are coming out, I want to make sure, like I said, you are ready for those reports, that you know what to do. And we got the Thursday night one. So what do we have for tomorrow morning? Because I know some of you are early morning traders, and we do have a couple reports that you can actually trade. So right here we got the pound dollar at 5.30, and you're going to have quite a few reports. We should get some really nice volatility on the pound. That's probably one of the reasons we haven't had a lot today, because they have so many announcements coming out. Nobody wants to take a position on it. So we got CPI, PPI, RPI, core CPI, HPI, PPI output. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reports coming out. 2 of those are high impact, 1 of those are medium impact reports, all happening at the same time on the pound dollar at 5:30 tomorrow morning. So that definitely is your trade in the morning that you can be focusing on for a straddle. And then the German Zoo economic sentiment report's coming out at 6. Euro should be volatile pretty much no matter what's going on, so that'll just add to it right there at 6 a.m. If you want to check that one out, my big trade that I'd be focusing on in the morning would be the 5:30 pound dollar trade. Now, roll it on into the U.S. session. I'm going to be looking pretty heavy at the the USD Canadian, because we have manufacturing sales and building permits. So all this stuff coming out, all of it having to do with, Canada, and there's been a major exporter of lumber. All these things happening at once, and U.S. CAD 8:30 tomorrow morning would be the main one I would be focusing on in the morning at 8:30 a.m. So that gives you a variety of a few different trades you can be looking at. By the way, all the times I'm quoting are Eastern time. And again, you're going to be hopping in about 1 to 15 minutes before it comes out. You're going to be using the spread scanner to help you quickly identify the best spreads. And there's a variety of trades that you can trade on these reports. USD CAD obviously is one of them. Let's see. I'm trying to look and see just across the board. Do we see anything that's maybe a little more volatile, a little less volatile, a little more consistently volatile? And Aussie dollar seems to actually do pretty well on that announcement as well. But more often than not, let's see. I'm just trying to see if anything outperforms it. And what I'm finding is we basically have USD CAD and Aussie dollar on that 8:30 announcement for just the U.S. announcements that are coming out, the building permits. A lot of times we see Aussie dollar movement, which is a little bit odd, but no pun intended there. But so Aussie dollar is one of the currency pairs you could also trade. But USD CAD usually has been pretty solid, and so that's going to be my main trade at 8:30. Let's get to the USD CAD. Main trade at 5:30 is going to be the pound dollar, and then again tonight at 8:30 is going to be the Aussie dollar. So that really gives you the lineup here for the next 24 hours to check out on the news trades that are coming up. And then we're going to go in, and what else do we have that you might be able to take advantage of after those reports? Really nothing else happening tomorrow evening. Japan's also going to have a bank holiday. And then we're going to go on in to Wednesday, and we're going to have Britain's MPC meeting minutes and the claimant count change, both happening at 5:30. So you got another British one on Wednesday. You're going to have the annual budget release coming out of Britain at 8:30. So that's another possible mover. It's not really a number mover, though. So it's a little bit harder to trade. And so you may be looking at the 7 a.m. or the 3 p.m., either one of those on the British release there. And then scrolling on down, we're going to have the FOMC economic projections, FOMC statement, federal funds rate, FOMC press conference, all coming up between 2 and 2:30 right there on Wednesday. So we'll be talking about Wednesday, more about that report and different ways to trade it on Nadex. So make sure you do tune in Wednesday so we can help you out with that, help you put it together. But it'll be definitely a fun trade. I love trading the FOMC, and there's no better way to trade it than on Nadex, because you get that defined risk in one of the most volatile announcements that comes out, especially after what's coming out of Europe this week. All right, well, stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
Join David White as he keeps you up to date on the latest tech stocks while he uses his Power Law Vector Indicator to identify the best trades. The Power Trading Hour, next on TFNN.
All right, folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And we're just going through the different news announcements for the week. We'll be starting up on the FOMC pretty soon. And remember, you can just hop on in here when you place your trades, and it'll actually open the trades up in the Nadex platform for you, which is pretty cool. So you can click, buy right here, and it literally opens the ticket directly in Nadex. And so, yeah, you have the ticket there, and you can, place it, and it'll calculate your risk-reward, everything else. Will be right there. So if I want to go in and I want to do, say, this trade, and I click buy, then that one will pop up. And as you can see, it's going in. It gives me my risk and my reward. Of course, this one calculates in your not only your risk and reward, but also calculates in the additional $1.80 round turn. That's why it says $4 versus $3, because it's calculating in, basically acting as if you are paying the fees, because it's assuming that you are going to be profitable. So it's going to charge you the maximum fees. So why do I say maximum fees if profitable? Well, it's 90 cents in. It's 90 cents out, so it's a $1.80 round turn. If you hold it to expiration, it's also 90 cents if there's value in the trade. Now, if it expires out of the money, there is absolutely no fee. Now, one of the coolest things is people hear 90 cents, are like, well, is that good? Well, I mean, CME charges over $1.20 a contract, but what's even better is it caps at $9. So, caps at $10. So caps at $9, 10 contracts per order. So if you go in and you do 100 contracts, you only pay $9. So the fee caps out on 10 contracts, and every contract above that on that same order, no fee. So if I want to go ahead and do 10 contracts, $9. If I want to do 50 contracts, $9. If I want to do 100 contracts, $9. And so that, as you can imagine, really does add up, especially as your size starts getting larger and larger. People go, how would I know if I'm really going to do more than that? Well, this one trade has a risk of $3. So 10, yeah, that's a possibility. 100, well, 1,100, that might be a little big, depending upon your account. But 100, that's $300. That's a possibility. I mean, even 1,000, $3,000. That's a possibility. If you did 1,000 and you got all of them filled at that price, your fee would be $9. Okay, so it's a fantastic, rate, and you're not paying broker commissions. You're paying exchange fees, not exchange fees plus broker commissions in addition to, because you're going direct with the exchange. So, anyways, but check that out if you haven't checked it out already. Check out the scanner. It makes the spreads so much easier to understand. It makes them easy to trade. I understand the spreads backwards and forwards, and I don't like trading the spreads without the spread scanner, simply because it makes it easy to find the best trade. If I don't do it, what do I have to do? I'm going to have to go over here, go into Nadex, and then I'm going to have to go to Forex bull spreads. I'm going to have to go to Aussie dollar, and I'm going to have to click on this right here. I have to expand it out, and then if I want to calculate the risk and reward, let's see here, where is the markets on it? So bring the markets back up here, and I'm gonna have to go in and click, buy. All right, what's the risk on that one? Buy. What's the risk on that one? I'm gonna have to keep opening up each one and figuring it out, figure out what the best one is. Well, that's for 3 of them. Well, then I got 3 more here. Trying to figure out what the best risk reward is there. 3 more here. What's the best risk reward? There's another one right here. What's the risk reward on that one? After I get done with all of them, okay, well, that's 12 of them. So which ones were the best? Are they still the best? And you can easily spend 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, depending upon how well you know them, trying to figure it out. Or you could just go, I want Aussie dollar. I want to buy. I want to sell, whatever. And it's like, well, here, and I don't want to risk more than $100, and I want to be able to make the potential to make $1 for every dollar at risk. And instantly, they're the 3 that qualify. Sorry about that. So, and that's all I have to do. And I'm like, oh, this is the best one. Great. Buy. I buy that one. It opens up the ticket. I'm ready to go. I didn't have to go through a whole bunch of stuff. Right in front of me. Simple, easy, fast. You don't want to spend time trying to find the spread after you found the right trade. And this will help you with that. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow right here at TFNN. Stay tuned. We have another great show coming up for you right after this.